down here on level 1 so low you could parachute out of a snake's asshole.
Hey guys, got a video for you today about Phil's recent King of Delusion speech. Yeah, this dude loses his fucking mind while huffing the delusion. I haven't recorded a video in a while, but it's just been some dumb shit from Phil recently. It's the same shit Phil's been in a while. I thought about doing some reacts to the DS politics stuff, but Phil somehow went lower than even my expectations. I've never seen such a waste of fucking time when talking about politics. The good news is that it seems DS politics is already on its way out. Didn't even make it to the end of the year. And Phil Burt is already talking about doing it less than once per week because somehow there's not enough political topics worth covering each week in the entire world. It seems like Phil is trying to corner the radical fence-sitting part of politics. It's almost like he watched a Kino Casino election stream and thought that it would be easy money to just bring up some random news articles and yell out clouds for 2 hours. Oh wait, that's literally what happened. But it turns out that even the Kino Casino pay pigs aren't that interested in watching a 40-year-old man with a midlife crisis complain about the local food bank. Who could have seen that coming? Other than that, Phil has been trying to keep the money positivity contribution style renaissance in some lulcow superposition of positivity. He gets just enough money to brag about still being the king and felting the trolls, while also being glad that the renaissance is over and he can go back to being his old self, which is actually his new self, because the person he was during the renaissance was actually his old self, his true self. Makes sense if you don't think about it. Anyways, let's get to the video. The king of the grand door he was really feeling himself on this one. At one point, Phil's going to claim the detractors are the sole reason for modern internet culture, and that Phil could have saved the world if his YouTube channel was still in the algorithm. I don't know what Phil was on, but he was on something during this one. Maybe Kat finally gave Phil the BBW business, or maybe it was Tyrone that gave Phil the business, or maybe he poured the gin extra heavy that morning, or maybe it was just a manic episode from a guy that has who knows how many undiagnosed mental challenges. I think the last time Phil was this delusional was the Mike Klum documentary, when Mike Klum was blowing smoke up Phil's ass to try and get him to make a lulcow documentary. And this guy wonders why he's a lulcow when he's doing shit like this. I mean, just look at this dumb motherfucker sitting there in a Christian shirt with fucking pixel art of his stupid fucking face on one side and a bunch of Christmas shit from Target on the other side. This mouth drooling motherfucker. Anyway, let's get to the video. Get on with it. Oh my god.
Ponage 101 tipped, but it was in relation to the previous story, okay? So hold on.
Makes you wonder if he was, the guy forgot to put his name in the tip and Phil was just comparing emails. Who knows?
So Ponage 101 did a $5.65 tip. Let's get him up on the leaderboard.
God. Someone needs to make a 3D animation of some guy just spinning in his chair typing for Phil doing his job. This is fucking stupid how he turns left, right, right, left.
And he says the following.
Just to put a name on a leaderboard.
The whole scammer situation. If there was no negative stigma attached to you because of your longtime stalkers and detractors, people would listen to you more and you'd have helped a lot more people, maybe other content creators, to avoid this situation.
Well, the weird thing is, Phil didn't bring up the scammer situation until he had read on Twitter about someone else being affected by it. Then he went back to his own DMs to find this person. So Phil wasn't going to blow any doors off. He wasn't going to inform anyone. Phil was reacting to the internet already being informed. But let's see how Phil spins this one.
Yeah, this is what people don't realize is, oh, the memes, the jokes, the lulls, right? So what you did is, for a decade, you made DSP the butt of your joke.
Well, Phil's been the butt of the joke for more than a decade. If you watch any of ALT stuff, Back in Time stuff on WPIG, or you watch the June the King documentary, People have been clowning on this guy since 2000 in the arcades.
And when you did that, you destroyed my ability to ever help anyone on the internet because no one takes me seriously, right? Now, to some extent this year, that did change, okay?
Again, Phil never helped anyone. I don't know who he thinks he actually helped. But I mean, he'll get into some stuff he claims he helped with, but again, it was more stuff of Phil wasn't the first one to respond to it. Phil wasn't the inciting incident. Phil was just chasing the algorithm, basically. And also this year, what positive stuff has he done? The thing that brought him the most attention was reacting to the RTU documentary with the Kino Casino. Was that helping anyone other than Phil's bank account? I mean, is there anything Phil's done this year to help anyone other than himself? He hasn't even helped his wife. He made what, 15? I've said this before on one of the, that being said, messaging shows, but Phil's made what, $15,000 extra or total or whatever. I don't know the exact numbers from the Kino Casino bump or rub or whatever the fuck he calls it. And literally every single one of it went into RGB bullshit in his office. He didn't even help his own. He changed he got a ceiling fan for his wife. He didn't even fix the fucking toilet in their master bedroom.
And I'm happy for that. Really, I am. I'm happy that now there are some people who listen and,
I mean, the amount of people that listen to Phil the amount of extra people who listen to Phil can probably be counted on one hand at this point. Kino Casino doesn't respond to him. Lulcow Live doesn't respond to him anymore. Every major creator Phil tried to have an interview doesn't respond to him. Starring Craig doesn't respond to him. I think 4 out of the 5 of the top sub gifters on Kick have been permanently banned from his channel. You can count on one hand the amount of people that now listen to Phil that didn't before the Kino Casino bump, and it's only been 3 months.
It's I got a little bit of clout back, at least, okay?
No, he got zero. He didn't get any clout. He got eyes on him, which is not clout, because they were laughing at him. He still to this day doesn't understand that the Kino boys were laughing at him the entire time Phil was there. Those two idiots were just snorting themselves to death, laughing at how stupid this fucking lulcow is.
You make someone the laughing stock of the internet and you run with memes and you just make them a living meme even though they have nothing to fucking do with it. That's what happens. Remember, before all that happened, I used to be someone who could make a video about an impending law or bill that was going to be passed in the United States.
He did that literally twice. Literally twice.
That could very negatively
15 years ago.
Affect a ton of people, and people would listen. I made that bill about SOPA, PIPA, S.978, all that shit back in the day, over 10 years ago. Those videos got hundreds of thousands of views and got people talking about the subject.
Again, this is a mischaracterization of the order of events. These bills were brought up in, the internet at large. There were thousands of videos about them on every platform, people complaining about this stuff. And Phil's video was a reaction to that. Phil was not leading the charge. You can go look at the videos, but Phil doesn't even know what really the bills are about. He just knows it's going to end his business on YouTube if they pass. Therefore, someone else please do something so I can keep sitting here doing fucking nothing on YouTube making money. Those were the videos Phil made. And the only reason they got hundreds of thousands of views is because everyone's video about that stuff got hundreds of thousands of views back in the day.
They got more people informed and involved and active in our government, and to stop it, and none of...
Again, maximum delusion here, thinking that his videos were the reason people got involved and, stop these bills from happening. No. If Phil hadn't made any of those videos, they still wouldn't have passed. Even though I think some of them actually did end up passing in some form. I don't remember the exact specifics of 15 years ago.
That shit passed. And then all of a sudden, oh, Phil's a joke because this is how you don't play.
Again, this is how you don't play. Just showed Phil's stupidity. If Phil wasn't a stupid motherfucker, this is how you don't play wouldn't have accomplished anything. This is, I think, one of the big things Phil doesn't understand about how the internet works. Something only becomes a meme if it has some truth to it. This is how you don't play would never have taken off if Phil wasn't shit at video games, or if he wasn't a clown, or if he wasn't a fucking idiot, or he wasn't a raging idiot. This is how you don't play would have never taken off. It would have just been a stupid video on some guy's channel that got like 100 views.
Because of this reason or that reason. It's like, you pathetic fucking excuses for humans. Allow me to repeat myself.
I don't know what he fucking means by that. The pathetic people who ruined his life? Question mark?
You pathetic fucking excuses for humans who thought that it was in everyone's best interest to try to make someone a living joke for a decade.
It was. I mean, there are more people watching detractor content now than watching Phil's own content. In Phil's own streams, there's more detractors. There's more people posting insulting memes in his chat than he has real fans. Like, how many real fans does this guy have? 2 digits at any one time watching him? Yet he has a 3-digit fucking viewer count? It doesn't add up, Phil.
Who used to actually try to go out of their way to help people.
Again, his idea of, quote, helping people, at least the only example he's given so far, was him bitching about a law he didn't know anything about, except for the fact it might make his job on YouTube impossible. That's not helping anyone.
But it's, you know, as long as everyone can laugh at this meme that they recognize, that's cool.
Yeah, that's how the internet works, amigo.
I've been around for 16 years. I'm well informed on internet.
Again, I don't know if I've ever seen anyone less informed that has access to the internet and has been a big part, or has made the internet a big part of his life for 20 years. I mean, this guy was on, what was it, AOL chat rooms in the early 2000s. And yet he's like more ignorant than like a farmer in Africa about what's going on in the world and how it works. Like, he's such a dumb motherfucker. And he's like a willfully dumb motherfucker.
Internet, gaming, YouTube issues.
Again, stuff he knows literally nothing about. Like, he has no idea how YouTube, like, I don't know if it's exactly in this video, but he brought up how, like, oh, I blew the door off on the Argentinian stuff and sent it to YouTube, and they didn't understand what I was saying. It's like, well, they know exactly what's going on. They set up the regional pricing. You're not exposing anything. But this guy thought he was like fucking 007 fucking stopping, Goldfinger or some shit.
I could definitely give informed takes and things like...
No. If anyone's seen anything of DS Politics, it's the exact opposite of informed takes.
Like that. No, who cares about that? Right? No.
Even the example he gave of the SOPA and PIPA bills, his video, he says he doesn't know what the bills are actually going to do.
Instead, we have to laugh today collectively at something like a bunch of brain-dead cows, sheep, have to have this herd-like...
Neither of which laugh.
...level intelligence. So, let's just do...
I like how he has to keep looking into the data of his OBS to make sure he's still on fucking screen.
Degrade DSP.
Really, really makes you intimidating, Phil, when you can't keep eye contact with a fucking inanimate camera for more than 1 second.
Even though he has stuff to say that could help people. Ignore all of it, because, he's a joke.
Do you want to give an example, Phil?
No. Fuck you. You really mouth-drooling fucking morons. Because for a greater part of a decade, you're the ones who degraded human existence and fried everyone's fucking brain cells with your...
Again, how big does Phil think the internet is? Does he actually think he was one? I mean, I know he was a big creator on YouTube in 2010. Again, he was so big I actually didn't know who he was until I became a detractor in 2016 or whatever. So, okay, maybe you weren't actually that big, but how big does he think the internet is? Do you think Phil has any idea that what literally billions of people are connected to the internet? Do you think Phil has any grasp on what that number means? I mean, I know there's the meme that the average human can't understand, numbers more than 1,000. Any number bigger than 1,000 is just a really big number, and they're all just really big numbers. But I don't even think Phil gets that far.
Idiotic.
I mean, he's acting like he used to be the biggest influencer on the planet, and somehow detractors ruined that, and then that's how detractors ruined internet culture. Like, this guy was a nobody. We ruined the clout of a nobody. That hasn't changed shit about the internet. I mean, even if you want to say, oh, Phil was like the first lulcow and he made lulcow culture popular. No, that would be Christian.
Trivial shit. It's just so trivial, nonsensical garbage. But you got your lols, you got your laughs, right?
You're a fucking lulcow, amigo. Right?
Yeah, and now we're all dumb.
Again, I don't know what the connection is between laughing at a fucking idiot moron lulcow who ruined his own fucking... Again, you can't create a meme that isn't based on some truth. It will never take off if it's completely false. People will see it, say it's false, and they'll move on to something else. We couldn't have become detractors if Phil wasn't a lulcow. So we can't have ruined someone who was already a fucking lulcow. That's not possible. It's like defamation lawsuits. Like, you can't defame someone whose reputation is garbage. You can't harm you can't, if someone's like a serial killer or something, you say they're a fucking idiot or they ripped you off or something. It's not defamation because you literally can't insult their character. Phil is a lulcow on the internet. It's impossible for anyone to defame him or ruin his reputation. He's a lulcow. You don't get any lower than that. I mean, other than, like serial killers or sexual pests or something like that. But I mean, in the realm of not illegal things, Phil is at the bottom of the bottom.
Now look at the fucking world, right? Look at how stupid people are on the fucking internet.
He says that, well, the GDC game dev literally used this fucking moron as an example of how dumbing down video games has made them better and has trained players into being lab rats or some dumb shit.
Because this is what you did. You made a joke out of everything.
No, just a joke out of you.
Modern day, and I get approached by a scammer, all right? And I tell you guys about it.
Again, he's confusing the timeline. He got approached by a scammer who responded to the fucking... He claims he knows it was a scammer, but he still responded to them like a dozen times. He then read a Twitter post about someone else getting scammed in the same way, then responded to his own scammer, trying to expose them, and then Phil made his video, or made not his video, I guess he did his podcast trying to expose it, and in the podcast where he tries to expose the scammer, Phil plays a video from someone else who got scammed in the same way. So again, Phil isn't exposing anything. He's responding to someone else doing the exposing.
And thankfully, some people did listen,
Like who?
I'm happy that some people listened, and hopefully this helped avoid some people having their businesses, their livelihoods, their YouTube channels messed up. I really hope.
Yeah, I'm sure it was your video with 1,000 views. probably not even 1,000 views at this point, and not the FGC player whose video had, I think, when Phil watched it, like 500,000 views and was being posted all over the internet, and he was getting Team YouTube or whatever to respond publicly to his Twitter posts about it. No. It was Phil with his 200 viewers on his podcast that exposed this and saved everyone and saved the fucking internet. Absolutely delusions of the grandeur.
Hope it did. But if I were anywhere near as big as I used to be and people actually took me seriously rather than, oh, it's that guy, that joke on the internet that everyone makes fun of, probably I would have helped a lot more people. Do you understand?
Again, Phil, you can't... I mean, I guess it's possible, but what I'm going to say is, if you're not the first person to expose something, how many people are you actually helping? Like, what percentage of a percentage of a percentage is the second person to expose a scam going to reach? Especially when it's like Phil's in kind of the same category as the other people who have exposed this before Phil did. They're YouTubers who live stream and play video games, and specifically fighting game content. Phil is a subset of that group, a very small subset of that group. So, like, what percentage of his viewers didn't already know about this or weren't already exposed to it?
Understand? So you got your lulls for a decade, but now people have lost their livelihood.
Again, these people lost their livelihoods before Phil said anything.
I could have helped them, but you don't care. Well,
again, Phil couldn't have helped people. God, I'm going to keep saying this because Phil keeps getting the timeline wrong. Even if the... I don't know if this wouldn't make it... I don't know if this timeline actually makes any sense, but, like, even if other people hadn't made videos and Phil came out with his video at the same time, the other people would have already been scammed and lost their accounts. Phil came out after the scam had already happened.
Maybe in the scope of things, you're the insignificant person who doesn't matter. Did you ever see?
Again, we're insignificant for ruining the Immaculate One's YouTube channel for 15 years. How are we insignificant if we prevented the hero of the human race from saving everyone? You can be influential in a bad way.
Think about that? Just because you got to laugh for a decade at me, at my expense, right? You've fucked stuff up. You get it? Like,
again, like what?
I could have been someone to help people with this.
What's the phrase? The saddest words in the English language? What might have been? Again, the only person Phil has to blame for himself is himself, because he literally works for himself. We can't ruin Phil's reputation by showing the things Phil did unless the things Phil did would ruin his reputation. I know he keeps bringing up, like, oh, they ruined my reputation by talking about this WWE Champions mobile game, which Phil was lying about. Phil was playing a mobile game. Phil was spending thousands and thousands of dollars on a fucking stupid WWE mobile game while claiming he couldn't afford to buy cat food, while claiming he couldn't afford to pay his taxes. Just because again, I don't know if this is a narcissism thing or something else, because this came up a lot in the DSP reacting to his documentary thing. The problem Phil has is not with the things he did, it's that he got caught. Phil is never sorry for the things he did. He's sorry he got caught. I don't know if that's narcissism or just being a shitty, awful person. Whatever. We can't ruin Phil's reputation without a way to do it, right? Memeology can't ruin Phil's reputation by making up fake videos, because eventually he'd get exposed and ruin his own reputation and people would stop watching his videos. Like everyone on the internet, I know not everyone's anonymous, but in some sense, everyone's anonymous on the internet. The only reason people listen to you is because they think you're worth listening to. You can only ruin your reputation by lying on the internet. Phil spent 20 years lying on the internet. The only thing detractors do is catch him and show that he's been a dishonest, lying sack of shit no one should listen to.
Kind of stuff. I would have liked to. I was at one point. But you just had to laugh. Well, now...
Again, why did we laugh at Phil? Again, he seems to think, I don't know, he seems to think like it's the same group of detractors for 15 years. Or 20 years at this point. There's some people in the FGC community back from the early 2000s who hated Phil. They didn't then... It's not like all of us were attending Evo in 2000 or whatever, got really mad at Phil and decided to come up with some giant conspiracy that we were going to ruin this guy for the rest of his fucking life. And then when he went onto YouTube, we all made our own YouTube channels to clown on him. And then when he became a live streamer, we all made our own live streams to clown on him. No, it's been waves of people. I mean, there have been, you can see some of these videos have been shown on WPIG, but you can find 15-year-old YouTube videos clowning on DSP that are essentially detractor videos. And those channels haven't uploaded anything in 12 years. We've got people that come into this community within the last couple of years. You've got people who've left. I mean, the SOK blew up and most of them are gone, but there's still a community around this guy because he's something to laugh at. Like, he's a delusional, crazy, sad, pathetic asshole. Like, he deserves to be made fun of. He's a lying, scamming sack of shit that treats everyone like garbage and just yells and hates. Like, there's no personality trait about Phil's society should want. That's why no one feels bad laughing at Phil. Phil wouldn't be the subject of ridicule if he had any positive traits at all. If he hadn't just shown complete, I don't know the right way to say that, but like if Phil didn't have traits that no one wants in society for 20 years, people wouldn't clown on him, people wouldn't deride him. Like, he's the kind of person no one wants. So everyone feels justified in hating on him. I mean, it's not like we're going out here and like murdering this guy.
Now people have lost their livelihood and their YouTube channels. Is it funny?
But that happened before Phil even knew it was happening. Phil responded to the people losing their livelihoods. If that didn't happen, I don't think Phil would have ever mentioned the scammer. I mean, it's hard to know.
Laughing? What if it was you? Ha! And it's your fault. You're to blame. Any of you...
Again, somehow... Again... Well, let's try and draw the connection Phil's trying to say. If detractors hadn't existed, Phil would be the most popular thing ever on YouTube. Okay. If he really wants to go there. He would have somehow been the first person to find out about the scam. Which, I guess I should have explained the scam. The scam is essentially, there were people on Twitter, basically bot accounts, that would contact people, offer a potential sponsorship involving some third-party peripheral, RGB lights, joysticks, keyboards, that kind of stuff. And then they would send a link that was supposed to be like a confidentiality agreement or some sort of contract negotiation thing. You would click the link and it would actually be a spoofed link, and this link would then download some sort of Trojan into your account or into your computer that would then give them access, and they would somehow access all of your accounts or something and transfer ownership and that kind of stuff. So Phil's argument is that if detractors hadn't existed, Phil would be the greatest YouTube creator ever. He would reach literally billions of people. He would somehow find out about this scam before the scam happened. He would have then made a video about the scam that he didn't fall for, and that would have prevented other people from falling for a scam he didn't actually know what it was. Does any of that make any fucking sense?
You out there who just thought, let's make Phil the butt of the joke just to get a rise
Phil is
today
the
for this
joke.
meme on the internet. It's your fault. Directly. Not even indirectly. It's directly your fault.
Yeah, we somehow detractors are the reason there's some Chinese asshole out there running a fucking bot farm on Twitter, trying to hack YouTube accounts so he can set up fucking crypto live streams or some nonsense. How the fuck does he connect that?
Because you thought it was okay to try to destroy someone and their public, their reputation.
Again, we can't destroy Phil's reputation by showing the things he's said and done. Literally not possible.
Public opinion about them. You just thought it was funny. There was no other reason to do it. You just thought it was funny.
Well, no, like I said, Phil's a lying scumbag piece of shit. So, literally every detractor thinks they're justified in laughing at him and clowning on him and calling him out and basically exposing him because those kind of people deserve to be exposed.
But you didn't think big. Instead, you thought in your...
No, I did think big. I think society doesn't need people like Phil in it, and people like him should be fucking ridiculed until they change. Maybe that's a little extreme, but I mean, that's, I think, the underlying justification of basically every detractor out there. Like, why would you waste your time making a YouTube video if you didn't think it was worth it? I mean, some people just do it to laugh. This fucking idiot. More power to you. But, you know, what's the point of laughing at something? Is it always just about getting emotions, or is... I mean, sometimes it is just about feeling good for yourself, but I don't know. I guess I'm thinking somewhat the social aspect of laughing at a clown or a piece of shit is that the whole point is to try and get them to change. I mean, Phil's never going to change, so I'm always going to be justified laughing at this fucking idiot.
Your own little brainless mouth drooler bubble. That the memes of the internet and laughing at them is more important than big picture shit. So all during this time frame when the YouTube adpocalypse was happening and I had concrete data to show what was going on.
Again, that's not actually what... Phil's concrete data was him losing money. If you remember... Oh god, this is a while ago. But if you remember the black shirt begging stuff that the SOK went over all those years ago, and Phil was bringing up spreadsheet stuff showing like, oh, my income is down 50% month over month, but my views are only down 13% month over month. How did this happen? Again, when Phil says I had the data, he was literally contacting Machinima asking what happened. And the reason he left Machinima is because they didn't tell him what happened. So apparently Phil both knew everything that was happening, and yet was somehow so out of the loop that he got big mad at Machinima and essentially quit the network because they wouldn't help him fast enough figure out what went wrong. But Phil also had all the data that everyone could use to figure out the adpocalypse. What would the data even mean about the adpocalypse? YouTube was going to pay less money. There was nothing else about it. Data wouldn't have changed anything.
Everyone ignored me.
Well, no. Again, everyone ignored me. What actually happened was he contacted Machinima. They told him there wasn't anything they could do about it, and he rage quit Machinima.
The time frame when YouTube was cracking down on copyright issues on YouTube. And
again, what actually happened when YouTube first rolled out the copyright stuff that would claim videos, Phil joined Machinima and became a managed partner and sidestepped the entire copyright process. That's actually what happened.
Everyone was having their videos content ID match, and I had all the data because I had tens of thousands of videos and I could help people. People ignored me.
Again, that's not even true that people ignored him. He would actually I guess maybe this is one of the things he actually did well, or did good for other people, and he doesn't even remember it correctly. He actually, I don't know, there was some sort of algorithm or something Phil showed other people you could do to the videos that would mute or distort the portions playing the copyrighted music enough to get around the copyright algorithm bots or whatever that were trolling through the videos and flagging things. Phil actually showed that to other people. I think there were some big creators. I don't remember exactly the story, but Phil doesn't even remember the time he actually helped people. Well, kind of. I mean, he showed people how to fuck up their videos enough that the automated system couldn't flag them for copyright. But again, Phil's solution to this problem wasn't, changing the YouTube algorithm, changing copyright law. It was getting a managed partnership from Machinima so he could sidestep the system entirely and keep making money. That's the big thing Phil did when YouTube rolled out their copyright bullshit automated system.
All these times when things could have been helped out or better. But, let's have a laugh today at DSP because, he had an incident in 2016 and he plays WWE champions, right?
Again, the incident, what made it funny is not the incident itself is funny, but it's Phil's response to it. It's the fact that he fucking claims his wife was, personally offended that it gets brought up and dumb shit like that, his response to it, and how fucking weird his responses to it are. That became the meme. Rubbing my leg became a meme because this guy lied about what happened. And then he begged to get on Keemstar's fucking Drama Alert podcast or whatever it was. Fucking idiot. Or even the WWE Champions thing. Again, I don't know if Phil's stupid or smart when it comes to this. Because he wants to make the entire WWE thing, wants to make the entire WWE Champions thing about playing a mobile game. It has nothing to do with the mobile game. It has to do with the money. He lied about the money, making him a scammer. That's why it became an issue, because this guy is a scammer. When Boogie went out there and shilled a fucking crypto coin or whatever the fuck it was, the rug pull coin or whatever he called it, scam coin, whatever, and he got paid $5,000, yet the people who did the sponsorship walked away with $2 million from his fans because they got pump and dumped by a fucking rug pull coin or whatever it was. And people clowned on Boogie for saying, oh, well, I needed the money. And then it turns out fucking cancer diagnosis wasn't even real. That's Phil. It's the same thing Phil does. It says, oh, guys, I don't know if I need $1,500 by the end of the month to pay my lawyer so I can get my bankruptcy. Oh, yeah, I also spend $300 a weekend on WWE champions, so if, 4 weeks in a month, $300, 12, I could have just not played the game, and I wouldn't have had to beg for the money to pay my lawyer, even though I was paying my lawyer on credit. Oh yeah, no, the reason the WWE thing became a meme is because Phil is a fucking scamming piece of shit. Just like Boogie, that scamming piece of shit.
Alright, so, in truth,
Why start now?
I'm about to drop a little holiday truth bomb on everyone. Alright?
Why start now?
Are you ready for this one? If I never existed, if I had never made a YouTube video, if I had never had any prominence on the internet, if I had never bothered turning on a camera, pointing it at a TV, and doing really stupid commentary, if I had never made tens of thousands of videos, alright? Here's the truth. Tons of people never would have been YouTubers. Tons of content never would have been made. People wouldn't have been inspired to do what they did. And the world would be a very different place.
Again, this is, I don't know, this is part of my thoughts about this. Part of it is, I think there's an issue with how history is taught, that, this person created this invention, when in most cases, the person credited with inventing something was just the first one in a group of people who were also trying to do the exact same thing, and many of their competition came out a year later. Like if you look at, I don't know, take something like math or something. Like for example, a lot of people, say that Newton is the father of, modern physics and all. Well, I guess not modern physics, classical physics at this point. But yet we don't use Newton's notation. It's Leibniz notation is how most calculus and stuff is done. So, it's a little bit more complicated than, just one person invented it and suddenly changed the world. It's usually things are usually more social than that, more emergent than that, than just one genius coming up with it. There are a lot of people that happen to be working on it at the same time, and just one of them beats the others to the punch, and therefore he gets all the credit. Not to do too much social commentary, but the idea that Phil hadn't done playthroughs, quote unquote, no one would have done it. No, there were people who were recording playthroughs on VHS. There were, fucking Chris Chan was uploading, or at least recording, gameplay videos before Phil. Even if Phil was the first, give him that. Say we give him that. Phil was the first person to upload playthroughs on YouTube. Other people would have done it. It's not such a unique, special thing to upload. And Phil was doing it the worst way. He was recording with a digital camera pointed at his TV. Even back then, Fraps and I don't remember the other programs, but even Fraps back then, you could record videos in the early 2000s. I was recording videos on fucking Rome Total War back then. And this idiot's talking about how he revolutionized fucking YouTube by pointing a digital camera at a TV. Motherfucker, people did that in like the fucking 60s. And this guy's talking about how he revolutionized fucking anything. Yeah, there was a point where PewDiePie said DSP was a influence on him. As if PewDiePie, or even if DSP didn't exist and PewDiePie never saw Phil because Phil didn't exist and went on to, become a plumber in Sweden or something, would someone else not have become a big YouTuber who did like fucking reacting to memes and shit? Like I know Phil likes to complain about the, screamer react YouTubers or whatever they fucking were called back in the day. PewDiePie wasn't the only one. Someone else would have blown up. The idea that, I don't know, like I said, the idea that like one person created something and then the rest of the world wasn't even thinking about it until they did it. It's not how it works, man. History is much more complicated than that. It's usually hundreds of people are running to the same point and one person gets there first. If that person didn't get there first, there's 99 other people who could have got there.
Okay? If I never existed, a lot of positive things never would have happened on this planet, whether directly or indirectly as a result of my actions.
So, talk about grand doors. If Phil hadn't existed, there are good things that could have happened despite his interactions with reality. Like, what the fuck is he saying here? Like, good things happened without me doing anything. Therefore, I should still exist? Like, what? He doesn't know what he's saying, man.
My existence has actually prominently impacted the internet.
I want an example, man. Like, he always brings up the PewDiePie example. Like I said, PewDiePie could have seen someone else. Who knows if he even, like, he one point said, oh yeah, I've watched Phil and he inspired me. Okay. That's like saying, I don't know, like LeBron James was only inspired by seeing Michael Jordan play basketball. Like there weren't hundreds of other people he watched. Come on now.
Life, quite frankly. All right. And I'm happy and proud of that fact that at least my existence on the internet has had a positive impact on so many. All those people who made negative memes about me for the last decade to get a joke, to get a laugh, literally, if those people never existed, they'd have zero impact on anything.
Again, this is so delusional to think that YouTube is the center of reality and everything flows from it. Most people who do this, detracting and laughing at Phil and making videos about him, most people in the detractor community just watch and comment on videos. It's a small percentage of a percentage that actually bother to make stupid fucking YouTube videos and waste their time recording this dumb shit. So it's a percentage of a percentage, but most of us do this part-time. Like, I upload one video a month, man. Like, I do shit outside of this, man. Like, I think the only people who do this, like, even close to full-time are what? Duty and Tevin? And maybe AFT at this point now? Everyone else, it's like, they do this part-time, man. It's a part-time clown show. If we're doing this part-time, we're obviously doing something else, man.
Zero. The whole mentality of this groupthink nonsense is just that. It's nonsense. Oh, jokes on for joke's sake, and it's all just jokes.
No, I think it's a little bit more than that. Phil's a fucking toxic, scamming sack of shit. Yeah, fuck him.
Yeah, but at what expense? What did you do?
I clowned on a piece of shit.
You fucked with the fabric of how things worked.
And now, like, the complete delusion, this is king of delusion shit, that somehow by clowning on this guy, we've destroyed the fabric of reality. I mean, come on, man. Destroying Phil's reputation by showing the things he's done and commenting on them have somehow destroyed the fabric of reality. But again, we're insignificant little pieces of mosquitoes or whatever he fucking said.
Because you wanted to have a memeable existence for 10 fucking years.
Again, I guess I am close to 10 years on this fucking retard. But again, detractors come and go, man. Like, Phil's still a piece of shit. That's why there keeps being more and more detractors. And people come and go. I think it was GTG who said it, you know, like, people are here for the time they're here. And when they leave, all right, see you. No hard feelings. I mean, this is dumb internet shit. People come and people go. But Phil stays the same. That's why there's always been detractors. It's been detractors on this guy for 20 years. And he thinks he hasn't done anything wrong.
You know? You guys you're out of your minds. But again, it's you look in the mirror and you don't want to acknowledge that. You sat on the internet for 10 years, turning DSP into a joke.
Again, we didn't do anything, man, by showing what you've done. Like, I keep saying it, but we can't ruin someone's reputation by showing the things they've done. They ruined their own reputation by being exposed. I don't know if it's narcissism, but it's Phil's personality. He's not sorry he did it. He's sorry he got caught.
What have you done with yourself?
I'm doing fine, man. That's why I got free time to make these dumb fucking videos, and this dude's out here begging for money, man. I just enjoy video games in my free time. This guy fucking he's gonna sit there fucking begging for $20.
Right? These people who are full.
This dude makes going to fucking Popeyes a fucking goal, man. If you want to go, you know what? You know what's really nice, Phil? Doing shit you want to do. Yeah, man, if I want to go to Popeyes, I go to Popeyes. I ain't gotta beg people to hit 20 fucking goals in a row or some dumb shit just to go get Popeyes. I just get in my car and go get it. Yeah, man, I'm really suffering out here.
Time DSP detractors, who would they be without me?
I'd be doing something else, man. I don't know, that's the thing Phil doesn't understand, is that most people would do something else if Phil went away. There's other lulcows out there. There's other internet shit out there. I mean, most of the time, I'm playing games, man. Like, my free time when I'm watching this shit, I've got it on in the background because I'm playing some game. Like, that's why I don't make so many videos, man. It's like I could record a video in my free time, or I could log on Final Fantasy 14 and grind out some dungeons. Man, what would I rather fucking do? Man, I ain't suffering out here, Phil, man.
In a day when I decide not to turn on my camera or not to broadcast, they have nothing to do.
Man, again, like, that's not even true for Tevin, who's got like 24-hour streams, man. He just puts on a bunch of like autoplay videos and walks away. Man, there's fucking anything to do, man, other than watch DSP shit.
In life, they actually depend on me for them to have some kind of a meaningful existence.
Again, no one thinks making these videos is a meaningful existence. Everyone thinks this is dumb internet shit. No one's like, oh, my life. In fact, the people who do get clowned out of here. What happened to the SOK? They took it too fucking seriously, and they're gone. Who the fuck out here is defining their life based on clowning on DSP, man? No one. And the people who do are gone.
So
they're laughed out of here.
As much of a joke that you wanted to make me out to be for 10 years, but you wanted to think about what might have happened in the last 10 years if I was actually able to add to interesting topics.
Man, fucking name one thing Phil actually knows anything about. He's hated on rollback netcode for 15 years and still doesn't understand how it works. He's hated YouTube for 15 years and still doesn't understand how it works. He doesn't know how computers work. He doesn't know how video games work. He doesn't have the slightest fucking idea. He literally thinks you need street smarts to program YouTube. What? He was complaining the other day that like a week ago he downloaded the Windows 11 installer, put it on his computer, updated to Windows 11, and then there was another update that he had to restart his computer for. Yeah, no shit, you dumb motherfucker. You downloaded the installer from a week ago and they put out weekly patches. And besides, he's got a fucking SSD on his computer, so it should take... I've got a 10-year-old laptop that takes 30 seconds to restart after an update. This dumb motherfucker out here talking about how it takes him 45 minutes to reopen half a dozen tabs on his fucking Chrome or whatever. I don't know, maybe if I was drunk, that's how long it would take me. But and this talking about how he can fucking add anything interesting. He could barely add anything interesting to his own documentary. He literally complained during the Medicare React that he had nothing to add because it wasn't about him. This guy's been on the internet the entire time Medicare's been out there, and the most he could add is, oh yeah, I remember E3 for everyone, or whatever the fuck it was called. That was the entire extent of what he could add to the Medicare thing. But this motherfucker's out here talking about how he can add so many interesting things. Man, when? He's been doing DSP Reacts for, 2 years now? God, I don't want to think about DSP Reacts. God, I think that, the one that sticks with me is that fucking car video where he couldn't tell it was a joke. The guy was talking about shooting the fucking bolts out of the wheel of his car and shit, and Phil's like, man, isn't that illegal? No, you dumb motherfucker, it's not even possible. Talking about how he knows interesting things and he can add things. Motherfucker can't find a joke if it slaps him in the face.
Actually be respected for my opinions.
Again, we can't make you not be respected for your opinions by fucking showing them to people. How the fuck does memeology ruin DSP's reputation by just playing clips? How the fuck does that make sense? We can't. If people put out mischaracterizations of Phil's opinions and people could go and watch what the real thing was and Phil actually had interesting things to say, smart things to say, Detractors would be done. That channel would be fucking... No one would listen to it.
Gamergate.
He barely even knows what Gamergate came up in the Medicare documentary, and Phil's like, oh, I don't really know that much about it. But now he's fucking saying, oh, if I had a big reputation at that time, I could have added so much to Gamergate. You didn't even know what was happening, amigo. And besides, like, what would he have done? Just made some clickbait videos? That would have added so much to the Gamergate conversation. Fucking DSP's uninformed ass making clickbait videos about it, sure.
All these journalistic controversies that have happened that I've been very vocal about.
No, you just hate journalists. He's not a part of the journalism industry. He's been like actively kept out of the journalism industry. What would he add about how bad journalism is other than he doesn't like review scores? He doesn't like when he can't get early access to games, but they can. Wow, man. Things people have been complaining about for 100 years at least.
I don't like how journalism has handled gaming in the last 10 years, but no one listens to me.
Man, Phil doesn't say anything remotely different from what the average person thinks. The average Twitter user thinks about journalism. I mean, granted, he gets all of his opinions from Twitter, so that's not surprising.
Right? All these things that have come to fruition that I predicted would happen, and they have. Gaming now is all so fucking milquetoast and done just for the money because...
Amigo, they literally make video games for you. Literally, we have evidence that Phil is their ideal customer. And he's fucking complaining about how games made exactly for him are ruining gaming. Oh, man, you piece of shit.
People just take bags and run and get paid sponsorships and shit.
This motherfucker was doing a sponsorship every fucking week back in the old days when he was big on YouTube. This dude was shilling trail mix. Fucking trail mix, amigo. Shilling fucking, what were they, caffeine brownies. Shilling bean bags. Shilling custom Xbox controllers and stuff. This dude would shill fucking shit if they paid him back in the day. He shilled fucking those scam dropship fucking gaming chairs. And he did it for one free one, man. This motherfucker talking about how he has morals and shit. How he was, well, I was going to stand up for the common gamer if I still had my reputation. No, motherfucker. You're the piece of shit that needs to be out of the fucking shill market. Fuck you.
Shit like that. All the big
You're the fucking piece of shit we need to get rid of in this fucking
on the planet
gaming industry.
Children left and right. These are
fucking this mother. Play it back.
YouTubers, Mr. Beast, the fakest motherfucker on the planet who just exploits children left and right. These are
yeah, Phil, you called that out 10 years ago. Okay, yeah. But this motherfucker is also the guy who talks about, oh yeah, you know, back in the day I used to make sexually inappropriate jokes so I could attract teenagers to my videos.
These are things I called out a decade ago. Get it?
Yeah, you called out Mr. Beast a decade ago. You were doing them a decade ago, you motherfucker.
It did all this would fucking happen. But
yeah, because you were neck deep in it. The shill shit, he was neck deep in that. Fucking clickbaiting bullshit, neck deep in that. Doing shit to attract children, neck deep in that. And it's not a joke about Panda.
But everyone just wanted to laugh at DSP for a decade.
Again, we're laughing at the things Phil does. It's not like we sat around in a dark room in 2010. Most of us weren't even... most of us didn't even know this guy existed and decided, oh, yes, okay, Tevin, instead of doing all that, you know, producing music videos and stuff, what I actually think you should do is there's this gouty fucking pig roach in Connecticut. He's going to open a YouTube channel in 3 years. I want you to make videos making fun of him. Yes. And then, duty, 10 years from now, you're going to clown on Wings of Redemption and then switch to DSP because he's a fucking crazier lulcow.
Good for you.
Get fucking.
I hope you like the present. I hope you're enjoying the existence of, you know, how everything went in culture, on the internet, all this shit.
Yeah. The detractor community somehow created all of this. Yeah, man, we created Twitter and the fucking brain rot that is TikTok and the fucking YouTube algorithm. We made that somehow. Talk about delusions of grandeurs.
I hope you like where you are right now. And all of you who are so dependent on me.
Again, amigo, we ain't dependent on you. If DSP disappears tomorrow, all of us gonna find something else to do, man. Even people like Tevin, like, I guess I don't watch his stuff as much on Twitch anymore because Twitch is a piece of shit these days. And good God, they have more fucking ads than fucking cable TV at this point. But even Tevin, he watches, what is that fat bitch or whatever it is? I don't fucking know her name. Amberlyn. There you go. Like, most people have multiple lulcows they follow. If Phil disappears tomorrow, man, like, I don't know. I'll listen to music or something in the background, man. Most of it's just background noise while I'm doing something else.
To get any kind of attention for yourself, I hope you like the fact that you have to be a DSP parasite for the rest of your fucking existence.
Amigo, you're older than me. You're gonna die before I do. With the way you're fucking drinking alcohol, that liver's gonna go in 10 years, amigo. But you know, with his fucking pig roach luck, he's gonna live to 150 without a fucking liver and still be drinking gin by the bottle every day. But like, again, Phil is so obsessed and consumed by YouTube, he thinks everyone else is. This is the thing I've brought up before, but like, Phil can't put himself in other people's shoes. Like, we would just go do something else. There's so much shit on the internet. I could just go watch the Joe Rogan filmology or whatever it is, his entire podcast. He's up to what, like 5,000 fucking episodes at this point or some shit? I'll just go watch that. I'll go listen to that while I'm doing things. The idea that, like, even if you take someone who uploads a lot, like Duty, if you believe his story, he's retired. Like, he does this in his free time because he ain't got shit else to do. You think he wouldn't find something? You think a retired guy with what he claims is like millions of dollars he inherited from a business he sold or whatever, you think that guy can't find something else to do if you disappear tomorrow, Phil? Man, I upload a video a month, if I'm lucky. You think I couldn't find something else to do once a month? Come on, man. Like, none of us are obsessed about it. Like, the people who were most obsessed, like the SOK, man, they've self-sabotaged and blew up.
Because you have no actual value on this planet outside of sucking blood from me.
And you're not that important. You're not that big. Like, no one's getting clout from fucking clowning on DSP. Even if you look at the big, quote, detractors, like It's a Gundam, he became bigger after focusing on stuff that wasn't DSP. If you look at people like Memology, he became bigger after focusing on stuff that isn't DSP. If you look at, even, people Phil's brought up recently, like Mudahar and Moist Critical, they're not Phil detractors. They mention him like once a year. All of their clout came from things that are not DSP. If you look at someone like Tevin, yeah, he's doing pretty well on Twitch, but again, he's not the biggest Twitch star. If you look at someone like Duty, like, I think he used to be in like Wings detractor community or something. No one's getting clout from fucking with Phil, man. No one. We're just doing it for fun, man. And like I said, most people are doing this part-time, so like they're doing shit outside of this that is probably way more important than whatever the fuck Phil's doing. Like, Phil's not changing the world out here, man, making video game content. Like, half of his content isn't even video games anymore. It's just Old Man Yells at Clouds podcast. Like, half of his content is the podcast and yelling at people and the internet. And even if you wanted to, like, say his video game content had some appeal to it or something, he takes way too long to finish games, so you can't, like, watch his playthrough to figure out how to play a game. He never learns how to play a game, so you can't watch his playthrough to, like, learn the mechanics. Phil doesn't know the mechanics of any single game, except maybe Street Fighter 2, and that was only because John and Howard were big into Street Fighter 2 and he just fucking sucked it off them. And Phil takes way too long to finish games. Like, it takes several months for him to finish a game. Most creators, or content creators, hate that word. Most YouTubers finish in a week. And he's just started recently just quitting every single fucking game. You can't even watch the ending. I forget what game it was, but like, he's even gone back to the old days of just Oh yeah, it was Silent Hill too, where he just pulled up a YouTube video, someone else's YouTube video, and just played all the endings. Even if you take him on his own terms about like, oh, he's this prolific gameplay streamer, and people watch him for that, even though half of his content isn't gameplay, but whatever, we'll give it to him. The stuff he's putting out is garbage. Absolute garbage that would have been garbage 10 years ago. Like he was bottom of the barrel 10 years ago and hasn't moved forward. So he's like fallen into the sewers below where the barrel is, like sitting in a gutter. But this motherfucker's talking about how we're stealing clout from him. You can't. Anything times 0 is 0, Phil, man. You don't have clout to steal.
You're nothing but a mosquito, and one day you're going to get swatted.
Yeah, but Phil's not actually going to do anything about it. Make it make sense. Like his example of, oh, karma's coming for the people who came after me, was RTU, another lulcow, and Super Crazy, who, I don't know the full story, but I guess became a lulcow or was already into lulcow shit before he became a DSP detractor. I don't know, go to the farms for that one. I've only heard a couple whispers on the rumor mill. But yeah, the idea that karma's gonna come for us and not for this guy. Alright. Sure, Phil, man. I mean, you're the one begging for money so you can go to fucking Popeyes, man. This dude is so fucking such a piece of shit. He couldn't go to fucking, what was it, Wendy's to get a Krabby Patty meal, man. And he's talking about how other people are gonna get the comeuppance, man. You're already in hell. This motherfucker's in hell. Hell of his own making.
Okay. I got a couple shout outs to do, and then we're going to end the show. We don't have time to do the Steam Year in Review now.
Well, you see that dumb fucking smirk on his face? Fucking dude was cutting a fucking promo. Talking about how he's doing meaningful shit. Yet everything's a fucking WWE like promo for him. Like he thinks he's won or some shit. I don't know. I don't know the exact wording for it from WWE, but there's the idea of like there's the show and then there's the behind the scenes stuff. And Phil is smiling like he just, oh man, that was a great part of the show, wasn't it, guys? Come on, behind the scenes, we're all gonna clown at how I said some stupid shit. No, man, there's no behind the scenes with Phil. That's the thing, man. He doesn't get it. Like, he wants to say he's playing a character, but like, he's been playing this character for 25 years nonstop. I don't even know if he knows which part is the character and which one isn't. Man. But yeah, that was fucking wild, man. King of delusion. King of the grand door. Fucking hell, man. I've never seen him this delusional, like I said before. The idea that the detractors have destroyed the very essence of reality because we exposed Phil to the internet and ruined his reputation by showing people things Phil says. And somehow this has caused culture to degrade or something. Even though, like, Phil was never that important. That, like, him falling off, like, precipitated anything. God, it's delusional. And the idea that we're, like, detractors are only doing this to steal clout from a guy that has no clout. What is he talking about, man? Like, he says, oh, they've ruined my reputation. I have no prestige anymore. Also, they're stealing all of my prestige. What? If our plan was to steal DSP's prestige, like, why would we tear him down first? Does that make any fucking sense? Man, this guy is so fucking stupid. And he thinks he's... You see that fucking smirk on his face? He thinks he's pulling one over on someone or something. I don't fucking know, man. I don't fucking know. Anyway, I'll catch you guys on the next one.